Welcome, Henry. Another edition of Athlete Chronicles podcast.
Yeah,
This is number 7.
we're on a streak right now.
We're on a streak, yeah.
I
And
think
the next one of the next two that we're going to do is going to be with the pro athlete that I talked to you
yeah,
about. But we won't throw that out yet. We'll
I
leave
think
that
so.
to the
I think so far out of the 7 athletes, I think maybe like 4 or 5 of them are going to the next level, especially the one that we're gonna interview right now too. So
yeah. Will you want to introduce him?
it's big, man. Yo, I want to give a shout out. I've known this kid for about I think 2 years now. It was when we both started playing on. Shout out to Passion Baines at the Drive. You play teams. Let's give a warm welcome to Alex Birsan from Centennial, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
welcome, Alex. It's good. It's good to meet you. It's good to have a conversation with you. Because I got to tell you, before we go into questions, all I ever see of you are these massive highlights where you just dogging people, man. You're throwing the ball down, you're busting through them, and you're just dominating. So to see a smile on your face and stuff, that's kind of a nice change. Yeah. So let's dive right into it. We're gonna kind of start early on. Let's just start off. Where are you from?
Um, I was born here in Canada, but my dad is from Romania and my mom was from Serbia. So, I grew up in an ethnic household and I was raised more with like the more Eastern European traditional values and stuff like that. And, I feel like that ethnicity part really ties in who I am as a person. So,
Did you did
growing
your
up.
parents did your parents play sports?
Yeah, my dad played pro basketball in Romania for 12 years. He played in the EuroLeague for Steaua, and my mom
Okay.
was she threw discus at Partizan Belgrade, and she was a national champion as well. Both of them won national championships in their respective sports. So
Well, excellent. So I think I know where this question's going to go, but early on in your life, growing up, what sports were you involved with?
for me, believe it or not, my first sport was more soccer. I real like that was like I started playing soccer first, and then but basketball's always been there, and that was the sport that I just fell in love with ever since. And there just came a time where I had to choose between basketball, soccer, and track and field as well. So those three sports were key for me growing up. They all had skills that carried for today for me, and I feel like basketball. I made the right decision with basketball.
So when did you actually start playing basketball?
I started playing basketball on a team when I was about 7 years old, and my dad was my first coach. So he's kind of been there every step of the way for me.
I love that.
Yeah. How tall are you, Alex?
I'm 6'7", so
Yeah. Is your dad a big guy as well?
yeah, he's 6'8", so he's a
Oh,
big dude.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So he's got some at-home coaching as well as on the floor.
exactly.
Yeah. What was your earliest memory of basketball?
My earliest memory, I remember my first game ever, and I remember the nerves I had and just like the excitement to go out and play. And I remember just everybody was in shock because my dad, he didn't teach me just to play underneath because I was bigger than everybody. He taught me how to dribble, how to pass, to be versatile. And people were surprised that I was bringing up the ball when I was the tallest guy on the court.
Back in the day when I played, I graduated high school in '92, and exactly what you're saying is the opposite of what basketball almost was. Not everybody, but you're the tallest guy, you're the center, right? You're 4 to 6 feet from the hoop, just get rebounds and pass it out to the guards. So it's a great skill that us as coaches we like to develop with everybody. Everyone's got to learn to dribble. Everyone's got to learn not necessarily the 1 through 5 roles, but maybe a big in the 2, 3 to 5.
I mean, it's been a while since I've played with you. So since that time, like, what is your daily routine like? When you're working out, like your structure of training.
It's a lot of fundamental based, obviously warm up with some ball handling. a lot of shooting emphasis because at the next level, I know I'm going to be maybe a 2 or 3, maybe even a stretch 4. So I've just been trying to perfect my shot and really shape it to how I'm going to play at the next level.
Is there this one might be tricky for you because we're still in high school, but how do you prepare for like a specific opening, or maybe not a specific player but a team, I guess.
That's a tough one. I would say just like sharpening all the skills that I can, being like prioritizing stuff that I'm good at and like just sort of building on them and seeing what your teams would like. I'm adaptable and whatever role you need me to play, I'll play it.
I love that. Especially at the next level. I had a conversation with when we talked to Zach. One of the things I took from that interview that I still talk about to this day is how he bounced back from adversity. I don't remember what he said. I think he broke something in his arm, and he
He
said,
broke
I
he
was
broke a
I was
bone in his hand.
he broke a bone. Thank you. And I was like, so how do you handle that? How do you bounce back from that? He's like, I got to use my left arm. Kobe Bryant, I remember he was talking about how you have to fight it. You can't sit around and give up on things like that. And one of those things I took away from it is the fight and the push. At that next level, you can't just say to those coaches, I can't do something. If you can't do it, then they can't have you. You're useless. So I guess this brings me to my next question, because man, I've seen you on Overtime more than I've seen my mom. You know what I mean? Like, like how do, how do you handle that criticism? And maybe how do you handle those high expectations?
Like ever since grade 10, I guess I've always had that sort of pressure to win, and obviously a lot of criticism has come, people saying what I should do better and I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. I'm only going to take into consideration from the people that truly know me and care about me. Like there's going to be people always saying something, but at the end of the day it's like how are you going to react when they say it? For me, of course, maybe at first I took it more to heart because I wasn't used to it, but over time I built that skin and resistance against the haters, and today like I would say I'm pretty bulletproof when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Mm, love that. I don't like the way I worded my question here, so I'm gonna try to twist it a bit. Describe where you had, I don't want to use the word worst performance, but where you think you underplayed to the category that you see yourself as, and how are you able to bounce back from it?
So about a year ago, around this exact time, we had a rivalry game against Charles Best, and this was like the big game. Everybody comes out to watch. I was pumped. I was ready to go, and I didn't perform. I'm I didn't play well at all. I had only 12 points. I wasn't getting to my spots as I should have. I wasn't distributing the ball as I should have. I just imploded inside. I wasn't who I was. That performance wasn't me. And I look back and I had to bounce back. It's because we had 2 tough games the next week. So what I did was what could I do better, And I valued patience. I had to be more patient. I had to be more relaxed because in that game I was too tense. I was too fired up, and I took that into consideration. I was able to bounce back.
So this year with your Centennial team, your high school team, do you have personal and team goals? And how are they coming along for you?
You know, Obviously the biggest goal is to win provincial, and to bring home a banner. And that's just sort of been my only goal. Obviously I've had some personal goals to grow as a person, to just get better in general. And I feel like I'm just going to try and do whatever it takes to get to the provincial finals, and just try my best no matter what.
And how are things looking so far for that? With the league where you guys are, the burst that you guys have?
I'd say we're looking pretty good right now. We've rode a bit of a hot streak right now. We beat some top teams. We beat Kitsilano, we beat Terry Fox, we beat Walnut Grove, like notorious teams that are known for being pretty good. And it's just now we play Terry Fox on Tuesday, and that's whoever wins that, they get the number one seed in league. So if we win that game, we're going to be able to host playoffs, and I think we can win that game, and I think we can we can win our zone for sure.
That's good. So with all those pressures and all those goals that you have, how do you actually balance your sport with your other life responsibilities? I mean, you're a high school student.
Having a schedule, having structure, I always make sure that I have my day structured and to have time to do homework, to go to the gym, to lift, and just to, do daily life tasks. I always have to make sure that my day is structured so I have enough times for the respective things.
And how's school going for you?
School's been going really well, education comes first for me. So I've been getting straight A's in school and prioritizing my academics.
Oh, good for you. So what kind of areas of study would you want to continue wherever you end up?
I've been thinking to dive into maybe psychology to become a sports psychologist, because I know a lot of athletes that they have sort of like a mental barrier. And if I can, I want to help break through that.
I
Because there's
love that.
times where I had that barrier, and when I was able to break it, it just unlocked so many different possibilities.
What do you think one of
That's
those
great.
mental barriers may be in the game of basketball or in sports in general?
The fear of failure, that was the big thing for me. I remember when we were playing together at Drive, shout out to Pasha Baines, Karn Sharda, Baltar Sohal. Like, I remember I would play the really good teams and I would just have this fear that I wasn't going to perform. I wasn't going to play well, and whenever I would step on the court, it was just, I was like a shell of myself. And I took time over that summer and just really focused on my uh, mental sort of stability, to break through that barrier. And ultimately, I broke through it and I was able to unlock more of my potential. And I feel like that's really helped me for sure.
I think that's one of the things I've seen from your growth. I think I watched the Terry Fox game that you played, and you play with so much poise now. When you kind of see it as a hooper, and I think more people see it than you see it. Maybe sometimes you'll see here, oh, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done this, but maybe even your father himself has seen that, man. You've unlocked a different level of not like carelessness, but like you're not gonna be killed or thrown on the street if you make a bad play. Maybe you miss a layup. It doesn't really matter. You go and award yourself, and you go fight back with the defensive stop on the other end. So I think that's one big thing for me. I even preach it to our guys at Sailors. I preach it to everyone. We see you, Tom.
Stupid internet. What do you like doing away from basketball?
I like going out with my friends, just spending time with them, building bonds, and just, I guess, like, sort of just watching the game. Like, I really love it. I try to just get better in every aspect possible. I just love spending time with friends and family. That's a huge thing for me.
So no movies, no concerts, just
Oh, yeah.
basketball.
Oh, no, I had a couple concerts for sure. So, and I had a lot of fun. Sometimes I just need a break from it, and when I get that break, it's pretty rewarding.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so when we talk about advice and a perspective as an athlete, what is like the best advice you've ever received?
That's a tough one. Um, I would say the best advice I've ever gotten was from my dad, and he was like, there's no need to play with pressure on your shoulders because at the end of the day, basketball is a game, you know? You're not gonna you're not nothing's gonna happen to you if you lose a game, you know? He's like, it's just play freely, like play without pressure, you know? And I've really taken that into account. He's like, there's nothing to be scared of. Like the main thing that he's told me that I've never forgotten is fear none, respect all. That's a big thing for me. And he says you need to fear nobody on the court, but when you're off the court, you're respectful to everyone.
I
That's
love it.
great advice. Absolutely great advice.
Like Mamba mentality emulated right there. I think that's one of the biggest things I see out of you is like, that kind of Kobe strife. I remember, when Kobe played with Gasol, they were like brothers, on and off the court. But there's a clip maybe we've all seen that when they played in the Olympics, Kobe ran right through his
True.
chest.
Yeah.
It shows you that there's no hate at all, but it's like as soon as the jersey color is not the same between me and you, it's a fight out there. I think that's one thing we need to start preaching more to our guys and Tom. We
Yeah,
got to fight more.
I think
So Alex,
so. I think so.
so what's an advice you would give to someone that's starting out to play basketball?
Um, really just trust the process, and just keep working because confidence doesn't just automatically come. It comes through the preparation you've had over time. And just go out there and give it your all, Like for me, I don't want to go out there and then after the game say, "Oh, I could have done more." Like, and the big thing that I would give advice to is what would you rather feel, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret?
It's a 40-minute game. The last minute's just as important as the first minute. Those 2 points or 1 point can make the difference in a game for sure. You got to give it when you're on the floor. You got to give 100 all the time, all the time. What are have you thought about your future? Like, what are your future plans at the moment? I know we're early February. The season's not over yet, but what are your thoughts and your plans?
A lot of it's still up in the air, but I think a lot of my plan has to do. This AAU season is going to be a big one for me. And it's all going to be based on how I perform in those live period months, like in April, May, July. And that's, I think, going to dictate a big part of my future.
Do you like is your preference to go down south, or would it be going overseas, or staying up in Canada?
My preference would be to go down to the U.S. and hopefully play Division One basketball. That's my big dream. And if I need to take a prep school year, then I'll take a post grad year to really just develop and and to make sure that I can transition to the next level.
Yeah, well, we'll hope that all your dreams and everything come true. Um, Henry, do you have any other questions before we wrap it up?
I don't have a question, but I want to end it off with an encouragement for you, man, because I remember, I don't know if you were there, but it was the first practice after the U Play tryouts. Everyone was sitting down in the middle at the Olympic Oval, and Pasha asked the question. He said, "Who wants to play D1?" Everyone,
Everyone.
everyone in the gym put their hand up. Everyone. Who wants to play U Sport? Everybody put their hand up. Who wants to play Pac West? Everybody put their hand up. And then he asked the question, "How many of you actually work at it?" I think I saw, including me, because I raised my hand for everything. And then when he asked who actually works at it, I didn't put my hand up. I think maybe you put your hand up, a couple others, and it shows you. Um, are you dedicated? Do you really want it? Do you work day and day after it? I think what I've seen from you throughout the years, if I was a scout, I would say how are you striving? How are you working at your goals? One of the biggest things I've took from the interview we just had with you is that you said you work on the fundamentals. At the Division 1 level, what separates D1 players from Division 2 U Sport and all that is attention to detail to the highest core. It's not about Kyrie Irving layups, all those are nice, but you need to perfect what you're good at. One of the things I took away from Zach once again last week is he said he tries to do the best at what he can do, right? He can't do the same thing that his big men are doing or his his small forwards are doing or whatever. He can't even do what the coaches are doing. It's what you do that perfects to you, man. And I'm so proud of what you're doing, and
Thank
good
you.
luck to you on the rest of the way of the season.
Thank you.
All right, Alex. So we end up every show with 8 quick hitter questions. So you just kind of rapid fire and go when you're ready. So we'll start off. Favorite meal?
Ooh, pasta.
Best gym atmosphere you've ever experienced?
Serbia, for sure.
Favorite subject at school?
PE, physical education.
Favorite superhero?
Iron Man.
With the Winter Olympics on right now, what's the one event you're looking most forward to watching?
Hockey, for sure.
Okay. Best athlete at Centennial not named Alex?
Josh Onyongo.
Final question. GOAT, Jordan, LeBron, or someone else?
Jordan.
Jordan. Jordan seems to be taking it. Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex,
We
can't
had
thank
one.
you enough for being part of.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it up. We'll get your social media up here, and we'll get it in the clips that we're going to do, so you can maybe get some more followers and people watching what we're talking about.
All right. That was good, yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.